Vegeta, the Prince of our hearts. Hey guys, Masako X here. Now for the longest time, I thought Goku was a real good guy, like a real superhero. He stood proudly as the guy who would defend the Earth from all of its enemies, fighting for truth, justice, and the American way. Wait, no, that's another guy. We don't talk about him. Goku has been seen as one of the biggest and most significant heroes in all of visual media. But we have to thank the good old dub for that misconception. But when I really started to take this show seriously and truly analyze its content and the character of Goku himself, it turns out that he's really not all that selfless in the long run. Yeah, Goku is a good-natured guy who likes to protect his friends, but really, he's utterly selfish and his Saiyan side is all too plain to see. His lot in life is to have limits to break. Fighting first, Earth second, family somewhere over there. I still love Goku as a character and I find it a true honor to portray him in Dragon Ball Z Abridged, but my opinion of the character has changed quite significantly in the past couple of years. I feel that there's something not quite right with his emotional stability. This all really started to unravel in Dragon Ball Super when Goku revealed that he has never kissed Chi-Chi in over 20 years of marriage. What? He's had sex at least twice with his wife, but never kissed her. In fact, he finds the whole concept of kissing totally bewildering. What makes this even more eye-opening is that it's Vegeta that scolds him for this transgression. Vegeta, the guy who pretty much spent most of the series showing the exact opposite of love to people, other than Bulma, kinda. I remember when the whole Goku not kissing Chi-Chi episode came out, people flipped their collective lids, I can tell you. I'm really interested to see how the guys over at Funimation tackle that scene. Good luck, Mr. Sabat. So then I got thinking, surely there has to be some background and context to this. Toriyama couldn't have just suddenly shoved this in there. He must have mentioned this in a previous interview. So I went to the tried and tested source Kanzenshu to look through their translation archive for any kind of interviews or tidbits that might have gleaned some information. And sure enough, they came up with the goods. Thank you, Kanzenshu. It all stems back to 2014. That was a very busy year for Toriyama, as he revealed lots of peripheral information about Dragon Ball and his characters, the biggest one being the real identities of 17 and 18, Lapis and Lazuli, as well as the origins of number 16, who turns out to be Dr. Gero's son, or at least model of him. 2014 was also the year after Battle of Gods came out, so Dragon Ball was really fresh in people's minds, and in the West, the dub version of Battle of Gods was coming out soon, so everyone was extremely hype. And we were actually pretty content with the idea of just having a feature film once every 2 years. Back then, Super was just a pipe dream. Sure enough, Kanzenshu had an interview from Toriyama which talked a lot about Saiyan heritage. It actually makes sense because this was around the time of the publication of Dragon Ball Minus, the spin-off manga which contained an alternate telling of Bardock's origins, as well as Goku being sent off into space, as well as the identity of Goku's mother, Gine. The March edition of Saikyo Jump contained a super Q&A session with Akira Toriyama, and he talked about Saiyan lifespans, origins, and in particular, their relationships, or more accurately, their alignments with people of the opposite sex. Toriyama goes into detail by saying, normally Saiyans don't have much of a notion of romance or marriage, and apart from the royal family of Vegeta, they aren't particular about blood relationships. Being in among all that, I suppose you could say that the pair of Bardock and Gine were those rare Saiyans who were joined by a bond other than for reproductive purposes. Goku's parents bucked the Saiyan trend and formed a deep and meaningful connection, which you can witness in Dragon Ball Minus. Check out all the details about that manga in my video in the top right. But it's later on in that same interview where things get particularly interesting. Right at the end of the interview, he is asked by the interviewer this question. Since Saiyans are supposed to have no affection for family or friends, does this actually make Vegeta, who holds his family and wife dear, an even stranger, yet kinda Saiyan than Goku? Toriyama's response? Vegeta, whose pride had been deeply wounded, sought help from Bulma, and little by little, his ruthless personality changed. Nowadays, you certainly might be able to say that. On the other hand, Goku might not have a sense of family members like Gohan and Chi-Chi, except as one of his companions. That last sentence is big, straight from the creator of Dragon Ball himself. The real reason of why Goku has never shown much skill at being a parent or even a husband is due to his Saiyan nature and the lack of necessity to adapt to his human surroundings. Goku views his wife and children as really close pals that can take care of themselves. Yeah, sure, he can go off and train, they'll be there when he gets back. It's important to stress though, that this doesn't mean that Goku didn't care for his family. Of course he did. He just saw them as really close friends, sort of like the bond he had with Krillin. Toriyama's statement just proves that Goku had no clue about being a parent or a husband. He just couldn't help it, it's just down to his nature, as a Saiyan. Average Saiyans didn't marry or stick around with their partners, they kind of just did the business and then went back off to fight. His Saiyan instincts got the better of him, simple as that. Also, he had no reason to change his attitude. His childhood was pretty much placid, he just spent time with Grandpa Gohan, just living off the land. Goku's innate Saiyan pride was left mostly intact during his childhood. Vegeta's, on the other hand, was kicked in the dick 1,000 times during that same period. This sentiment culminated in his failure to avenge his race and defeat Lord Frieza, allowing a low-class warrior to do that for him. This sickened him greatly and his pride was severely dented. As he had nowhere else to go, he pretty much just stuck around Capsule Corp and used their impressive technology to train and then refocus his life on beating Kakarot. That was his goal in life. His royal blood was boiling and the only person that could even get close to calming him down was Bulma. And over time, her presence and attitude really started to appeal to Vegeta. Her fiery persona and defiance towards the Prince of All Saiyans kinda turned him on. And he stuck around even more. Over the years that followed, Bulma's influence slowly trickled into Vegeta's thinking, and Baby Trunks even more so. Vegeta's angry demeanor was tempered, and his royal heritage started to kick in. Unlike Goku and pretty much any other Saiyan, Vegeta did have a concept of marriage, as royal bloodlines actually have to marry into other bloodlines in order to carry on the legacy. To Vegeta, having a wife was completely logical and made sense. Carry on the bloodline, have an heir in which to carry on his goals. He regards Bulma as his wife, and even though he doesn't show much love on the outside, he truly does care for her and his newfound family. It all came to a head in Battle of Gods and the end of the Buu arc. Remember the whole "that's my Bulma" thing? This all ties into the notion that Vegeta is one of the most developed characters in Dragon Ball. He has come on leaps and bounds since his introduction in Z, whereas Goku really hasn't gone anywhere. Vegeta had to change for his own sanity's sake. Then we have Toriyama's statement that Goku doesn't view Chi-Chi as his soulmate, and that was kind of a slap in the face for me. Chi-Chi has had to live with this man for upwards of 2 decades, raise 2 sons, mostly on her own, and take care of all of them for little to no affection in return. Ooh, no wonder Chi-Chi's so tetchy. I don't blame her. Maybe that's why she was so hard on Gohan, so he wouldn't turn out like his father and he would become a really good man in his adulthood. And thankfully, he has. Thank you, Super. When it comes to relationships, Vegeta is king. Well, he's king over something at least. When you really start to analyze it, Vegeta could be one of the kindest Saiyans that has ever lived. The only reason Goku didn't murder everyone on Earth when he got older was because of a head injury as a baby. Had that not happened, Goku would have been like every other Saiyan that has ever existed. Even after his accident, he didn't just suddenly change his tune and view Grandpa Gohan as a true father figure, just as a companion who lived with him. If Goku really viewed Grandpa Gohan as a true father, he would have used the Dragon Balls to wish him back to life eventually. But no, he was okay with just keeping the 4-star ball as a memento of his late companion. Right. Vegeta never sustained such a cranial trauma. All of his actions were down to his own volition. He instigated all those changes, either for his own sanity's sake, or just the pure passion and desire to change, just because. But one thing to take away from this though, is that Goku's still a good guy. He's just not a good guy in the conventional sense. He will fight for his friends and make sure everyone is safe, but he doesn't really have a loving connection with everybody. he has a friendly connection. It's a really alien concept to us, but to be fair, Goku is an alien. And one moment from the latest Super episode, which is episode 74 at the time of this recording, was when Gohan's blockbuster debut as the Great Saiyan Man was shown to everybody, was a success. Chi-Chi and Goten were really happy for him, and Videl especially, but Goku fell asleep during the entire thing as it didn't involve fighting there and then. Vegeta, though, shows genuine pride in his son, in particular his son from the future. He's not only happy that future Trunks is a strong Saiyan, but also that he has found a companion in Mai to cherish and help him rebuild the future in his own way. That his son's found happiness. And that's really good of him. You might want to condemn Vegeta as a cold, heartless killer, but actually, he's the kindest Saiyan there has ever been. Good on you, Jeets! So what do you guys think? Do you think Vegeta is kinder than Goku? Leave a comment below and let's get this discussion going. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this video. Until the next one, be sure to like and subscribe. And until then, catch you later.